do this. Hi, my name is Jennifer Fink from Gerard Dupris, and I'm inviting you to see the world through the piercing gray eyes of the sleuth of old New Orleans. Well, I think I'm the only person in the cast that's actually from New Orleans. Hey Todd, it's New Orleans, okay? Gotcha, baby. And that's my personal attachment to the project and to the city itself, is that I was born there, commonly in what's called the Ninth Ward, but also commonly known as New Orleans East, which if you look it up on a map, it's the first 3 exits off I-10. It's kind of like, can you get there? Sure. Before you get to the city, you have to go through where I'm from. Unfortunately, it was the section of the city that was most devastated in Katrina. So, sad to say, I have not been back since the rebuilding because a lot of where I'm from wasn't rebuilt. It's still pretty devastated, and it's really not a lot of places for me to go back home to. So, I made the decision not to go back to the city after Katrina because a lot of where I'm from just isn't there anymore. They've done an excellent job at rebuilding what is there, though, so I'm looking forward, now that my daughter, I have a 14-year-old, and I'm looking forward to taking her back so she can see what it's there now versus, you know, what was there then. What we have done with this project is basically shown a spotlight on the city again, and, you know, because what everybody hears about it is Mardi Gras and Bourbon Street, and, you know, show your tatas for some bees, and that's not the city. You know, that's not really what it's about. There's so many wonderful sections of it. There's the Garden District, there's Audubon Park, there's the section along the river, which, you know, it's a very big river. There's a lot of things that go into that river and don't come out of that river. Stay tuned for more. So it's just, there's so much stuff that can be there, and showing this in a time where the city was not really new, but more positive, more kind of, I don't know, it's really hard to describe. It's just more. You know that, you know, there is some external influences, but there's external influences in all big cities everywhere. Is it always a little more prevalent in New Orleans? Well, sure, everybody says that, but is it any more prevalent in New York City than it is in New Orleans? You know, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Did we just do it better? Sure. I mean, of course we did. I mean, we're in New Orleans. It's how it was, you know, and it's just, things weren't as depressed then as they are now. So I guess that's the best way to say it. Because, you know, now it's just like everything just seems to be depressed, and then there was still some kind of hope. I mean, you know, and I think that's the best part about our production, is having a character like Gerard Dupris, you see that kind of hope. There's somebody for them to go to, even if it's not the cops, because they can be crooked, but, you know, it's at least somebody, you know, and you have that kind of hope, and now it just seems like there isn't that kind of hope anywhere. So, yay, we bring hope. Betty Davis and Katharine Hepburn are 2 of my idols, and Casablanca is my favorite movie. So, it just kind of, it speaks to me. When I lived, my dad was in the Army, so when I lived in Germany, they still played radio serials on Armed Forces Radio. And so every night I would listen to this old radio serial soap opera, because we only had like 2 TV channels that were English and the rest were German. By the way, Mentos commercials are overdubbed. Those started in Germany. Anyway, they caught my imagination because I just thought it was so cool. And one of them happened to be in the noir genre. And I thought that, you know, the detective serial that they had going was the coolest thing ever. Now, I was 12. So that was a time when you don't really find a 12-year-old sitting there listening to the radio for a radio serial to come on because Nintendo had just come out. So, most of the time you found them playing Mario Brothers and all like that stuff. Me, I was sitting there with my radio going, when's the next episode coming on? And I just thought that that was like the coolest thing ever, and I wanted to do that one day. Well, fast forward 20 odd years, this crazy guy I was doing theater with said, hey, I have this thing. And I'm like, really? What is this thing? And he's like, well, it's this podcast thing set in the noir genre. And I'm like, no kidding. Really? So it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know. If you believe in fate, fate put him in my path. If you don't believe in fate, well, it just got real. So there you have it. Voice acting is probably more fun for me than stage acting, and I know that doesn't get said a lot. I'm not a singer, and I don't do musicals, so I'm stuck with comedy and drama. Drama doesn't sell on stage, so where else are you going to be able to do stuff like that? I work with a incredibly talented group of people in this project, and a lot of them are stage actors, film actors. We've ran the gambit. Myself, I've acted on stage. I stage manage. Voice acting to me is a lot harder and a lot more fulfilling, only because you have to be able to tell a story with only your voice, and that's all you've got. So inflection, your tone, how you say it, what you say, it all comes out. And because I'm such an expressive person visually, Brendan Rogers, who plays Gerard Dupris, told me once that, I give great expressions on stage. Well, and that's wonderful for me, but, you can only do so much with your face while you're doing a voice acting. But that also helps give you the same expressions while, come out in your voice. So it's like, it's more fun for me. I don't have the passion that a lot of other people have to pursue acting on stage or in front of a camera as much as I do going into a little box with lines and listening to other people and then respond to it and then hearing it later, or having other people hear it and be like, oh my God, that was you? Because it sounds so different from what I normally sound like. So I guess that's where it is fun for me. Well, if I say Brendan Rogers, then, he's going to be all like, well, you had to say that. So just so you know, I have a little crush on him. I like Duncan Barr. He is always amazingly slimy. And I love you, Duncan. I do. Your heart. And of course, Stephanie Adams. She is probably one of the most versatile people I've ever met, because I think that anything she do is absolutely amazing. I've seen her in so many different things. Definitely Stephanie. I have a girl crush on Stephanie. For her to come in and bring Dottie to life all the time is just amazing as well. Absolutely, I have a favorite character that I play. Let me see. Madame Sophie is my absolute favorite character. She is she's the recurring psychic shop owner, and I love her. She is my heart. I adore that character so much. She is, if I could play her constantly and just, that's the only character that I would get to play in this entire series, I would totally take that. My second favorite character that I got to play was this incredibly crazy journalist last season. She was deliciously strange, and I adored her to death. But because one of the beautiful things about being a featured person in a show like this is Bo, our creator, tried to give us something where we had one featured person and we had one like mainstay, and then we got to do a whole different gambit of a bunch of stuff. I think the first thing I ever recorded was I was this random copy girl at the Times-Picayune. And it was really funny because I always told my mom when I was little and had an idea that I would ever go into newspaper, that I was going to work at the Times-Picayune one day. So when I went home, I called her and I was like, guess what I just recorded? I got to work at the Times-Picayune, and she totally did not get it. So it was a fun time for me, but you know. Madame Sophie is probably my favorite thing that I've ever done, ever, in any kind of thing, besides getting to stage manage Young Frankenstein. So. I'm seriously excited that we're getting to do this for the 3rd season. I'm also incredibly excited that Madame Sophie, yes, I told you she was my favorite, came back already and is hopefully coming back again. So I am lobbying for this. So if y'all like Madame Sophie in episode 1, hit like a lot. You know, anytime that we get to do things more than once or more than one season is a bonus for us. I mean, at heart, we're all performers. So the one thing that we want to do is perform. And so, you know, the fact that we are still getting to do this it's a rush. I mean, it's what we do. We perform. Thank you for watching my crazy video. I appreciate everybody that has listened to our seasons 1 and 2. Make sure you listen to season 3. If you want to, you can go to our website and purchase one of these lovely shirts right here, because I like these. I wear them myself. And also make sure you go to our link up here, this one right here, that one, and listen, watch, buy. You want to do all that? Yes, you do. You do. Really. Do it. Do it now. Do it.